you've probably heard this phrase, $1 million coffee habit. And yeah, it sounds totally crazy, right? An exaggeration. But what if it's not? What if a tiny choice you make every single day is literally the one thing standing between you and a seven-figure retirement? We're going to dig into that. So let's just ask the question straight up. Is that daily coffee, that $5 latte you grab without even thinking, is that actually costing you $1 million? It's a huge question, I know, but it's at the core of a really powerful idea we're about to break down. And hey, we're not just going to talk theory here. No way. We're actually going to walk through a really simple experiment. Think of it like a blueprint, a guide for turning a small, kind of mindless habit into something, well, life-changing. So this brings us to what's called the coffee strategy. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a super simple but really powerful way to completely change how you look at those small, everyday purchases. Okay, so here's the challenge. And it's honestly so simple it's almost funny. You just swap that daily $5 coffee for an automated investment. And look, this is not about telling you no more coffee. It's not about deprivation. It's about taking that same small amount of money and making it work for you instead. And get this isn't just some theory. It's been tested. A student actually did this. They ran the experiment to see if it would generate real returns. And yeah, it did, literally while they were sleeping. That's what takes this from a cool idea to something you can actually do. All right, so how'd they do it? It's just 3 simple steps. Super easy. First, pick a simple investment, something like an S&P 500 index fund, nothing complicated. Second, and this is the most important part, you automate a $5 deposit every single day. Set it and forget it. And then third, the best part, you just let it grow. You don't touch it. You let it do its thing. Okay, now we get to the really cool part, the secret sauce, the engine that makes this whole thing work. We're talking about the magic of compounding and how ridiculously small amounts of money can grow into something huge over time. So what is it? What's the engine behind this kind of crazy growth? I mean, how does $5 a day turn into that? It's not just about putting money aside, right? It's about how that money grows. The answer is compound interest. You've probably heard the term, but it's a simple, powerful idea. It just means you earn interest not only on the money you put in, but also on the interest you've already earned. And that's where the magic really kicks in. Let's look at the difference here, because it's huge. With simple interest, your money earns money. That's it. It's a straight line. But with compound interest, your money earns money, and then that money starts earning its own money. It creates this feedback loop that just gets faster and faster. The best way to think about it is like a snowball rolling down a really big hill. It starts off tiny, right? But as it rolls, it picks up more snow, and the bigger it gets, the faster it gets bigger. That interest on your interest is what creates that unstoppable momentum. Okay, theory's cool and all, but let's get to the numbers. Let's see what this actually looks like in the real world. We're going to look at a 40-year blueprint showing how this simple coffee habit can actually turn into a fortune. All right, so let's look at the projection, and this is based on real data, the historical average returns of the S&P 500. What does that $5 a day habit actually turn into? We're going to break it down decade by decade. Brace yourself. Okay, so after 10 years, that little habit turns into around $30,000, which is awesome. I mean, that's a serious chunk of change from what was basically just loose cash for coffee. But honestly, the real growth hasn't even started yet. Now, check this out. After 20 years, it hasn't just doubled. No, it's quadrupled to about $120,000. Now you can start to see that snowball effect really picking up speed. The growth is starting to get seriously fast. Fast forward to the 30-year mark, and the growth is just staggering. It's more than tripled again, shooting up to almost $380,000. And here's the wild part. At this point, the money your investment is earning all by itself is way, way more than the $5 you're putting in each day. And then, after 40 years of just letting that simple, automated investment do its thing, that $5 a day habit crosses the $1 million line. $1 million from coffee money. It's just an incredible result from something so small. And this chart just shows you that journey perfectly. Look at that curve. It's not a straight line, is it? It's exponential. It goes almost straight up at the end. Get this, the growth in just the last 10 years is more than double all the growth from the first 30 years combined. That right there is the power of compounding. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. Because as you've probably figured out by now, this was never really about the coffee, was it? So what are the big lessons here? Well, first, it's all about consistency. That's where the power is. Second, starting early is your biggest superpower. It gives your money time, which is its best friend. Third, automation is your secret weapon. It makes being consistent totally effortless. And last, just remember that compound interest is the engine doing all the hard work for you. Because at the end of the day, the real investment here isn't the $5. It's the habit, the consistency. That's the real asset. And that's what builds not just wealth, but anything important over a lifetime. And look, it doesn't have to be coffee, right? Maybe for you, it's takeout or a subscription you kind of forgot about, or those little impulse buys at the checkout counter. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what's your $5 habit? And what incredible future could you build with it?